Everybody. Not as much of a happy intro today.
Hello, Cammy. What's going on?
We couldn't stream yesterday, so and I gotta preface this. Okay, we're gonna talk about what happened. What happened over this past week? We're just gonna have our thoughts said about that. I wanted to go live on Wednesday, just like so many other people, to talk about it, and then I thought differently about that. I thought that it might be better once we have a little bit more information, and we don't have all of it, but at least they got the fucker seemingly. Um, so yeah, I just what happened this past Wednesday doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, and I won't see any jokes about this right now in the chat. I will get you out of the chat. What I want to preface here is that was an attack on free speech. That wasn't an attack on one political side. In my opinion, this is bipartisan because Roman and I have spoken about doing events like that in the future with me moderating and have a conservative person and Roman asking questions. That's terrifying to me. And honestly, we still should. Because if people stop talking, then that fucker won. He's saying the man's a fascist while literally doing what fascists do in silencing free speech. It's insanity. And if for nothing else, you don't have the compassion to pray for those two little children and that wife and the father that had to see his son shove his thumb in his throat to keep himself alive, then you're not a compassionate human. And I don't think you. I think you are human garbage. If you can't at least pray for those children. I mean, 5 feet away to watch their father's neck get blown apart. Horrifying. And for the students and for everybody there. I mean, fuck that MSNBC motherfucker. Deserved instantaneous firing. Not hours later. Minutes. It's stuff that's sort of tragic. I mean, I didn't always agree with the guy, but I never wanted him dead. Never wanted him dead. And he did what nobody else could do, which was whether or not he was able to sway people to his side. He got young people into politics. So many people in my sphere, in my space, in my time, do not want to vote because they think their vote doesn't matter. Well, guess what? Whether or not they agreed with Charlie, they ended up voting afterwards. That's the importance of what he was doing. And that could have very easily been my dad. I mean, he does a lot of speaking engagements. He could be a little bit off sometimes. Somebody might not like what he has to say at one speaking engagement. That's my piece. Love your people. Give everybody a hug. And goddamn, just stop killing. Keep speaking. Don't let this stop you from going out there and speaking, because I think there's going to be 1,000 more Charlie Kirks, whether they're on the left or the right. Don't stop speaking. Don't let the bastards win. Don't let them shut us up. That's what they want to do. And now I'm not going to say anything. They're saying this possibility. It's Fuentes people, whatever. We don't know anything about that yet. I can't say anything about that.
I'm not gonna put.
We're not going to put any information out there.
It's not any time to. It's not the time to put any conspiracy theories out there.
The point of this conversation at the moment, and I'll let Roman say his piece in a second, is that this is wrong. This can't happen. This is Dan Vasc said it best. This is what was just happening in Brazil, and they just stopped it in Brazil, and now it's happening in America. That scares the living shit out of him, because he sees what it leads to and what it led to in his country. a legitimate fascist regime. Roman, you can say your piece. Just pray for those kids, man. Pray for that wife, and hug your loved ones. Love thy
Well,
neighbor.
I've been thinking about this since Wednesday, like what I was gonna say, because I knew it was inevitable. Um, that I was gonna have to say my piece on it, and I didn't exactly like. Usually, when something like this happens, I have notes or I have bullet points. But what I want to say is, first of all, I cannot imagine if I was in that situation and I saw, just for an example, my mother get her head essentially shot off. I wouldn't be able to live with that. So that's one. Two, I don't believe that political violence is ever okay in any instance. Um, and generally, I kind of am a little more feisty when it comes to this kind of thing, when it comes to politics. Today, I'm not gonna be because I'm not trying to score any political points. I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong or prove myself right. I'm not trying to do that. What I am trying to say is that it might be well documented. I think I've said it a few times. I really, 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 really disliked Charlie Kirk, but I never wanted him dead. You know why? Because at the end of it all, we're all human beings on a floating rock, and we all got to get along with each other. So,
I think you even said to me once that you would like to debate him.
oh, I would have loved it. It would have been fun as hell.
Yeah,
I would have
that
had
would have
so
been
much
fun.
fun.
That would have
I
been
would have
so
had so
cool.
much fun. But point is that I personally believe that he and again, I am not going to besmirch him. I'm not going to say anything outright like that like is inflammatory. I do not believe that he had a lot of the correct views on things, and I think he wasn't always the right man for the right message. But what I will say is that I give him a lot of respect and credit for being always willing to debate people. That's something that a lot of people don't do. And I give him massive credit for, even though 9 times out of 10 I thought he was wrong, you know what? At least he had his point of view and he stuck with it. Even though I thought that he was wrong, he stuck with it. He didn't
It got
change it.
killed.
Um, but point is that he didn't deserve to get killed, and it's becoming now. If you want to be even more technical about it, this whole political violence thing is not a new thing, and it's not a one side versus the other side thing. It's been happening for decades. It's just that I think now with social, media and with, the mainstream news, it's become a lot more that the
Prevalent.
public is seeing it a lot more now. But the thing that scared me the most is that now it's in the public eye and now everybody knows, but it's been happening for so long that we don't know how to stop it now. And
Well, it's here
I'm
now.
not
It wasn't here like this before.
and Roland, the part that scares me, what I was thinking about it is that it's what you and me have always talked about. It's the it's it's the extremes on both sides that are, perpetuating everything that's going on. And
And they're backed
the
by
the
people.
thing that the thing that bothers me is that, and this is the part that, while I wish it wasn't the while I wish it wasn't the case, shout out to a very wise person in our, Discord, Insomnia. if you see this, what's up? But he kind of essentially was like, labels are stupid. And I kind of fall on to that point only because essentially there shouldn't be sides, even though since the foundation of America there have been, like, America's always had a two-party system ever since like 1790. It shouldn't be that way, but that just is what it is. However, I also think that, and what scares me is that, and since this is my show, I can say how I feel. I feel like, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I do feel like when it comes to all of this violence, whether it be Charlie or anything else that's happened recently, I think people are going to misunderstand who the real enemy is.
Oh yeah.
And you can
Very
put
good.
down in your own head, I'm not going to say it at this moment because this isn't the stream for that, but we all know who the actual enemy is.
BlackRock.
And so
Big Pharma. Sorry, I got a weird call. BlackRock. Sorry.
No, it's fine. The point that I'm making is that I don't like the fact that people are, all this violence has done is literally gotten both sides to fight each other. And I'm not going to delve into conspiracies, but I will say I think that there is a higher up work at play here.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
To try to distract from the fact that, and again, Roland has acknowledged it. So
Who's talking about the Epstein files? Who's talking about the Epstein files right now? Just saying.
No one. And also something that hasn't gotten really any type of coverage. And again, not delving into conspiracies because Roland knows about it. We made jokes about it, not like in a fun, like, haha, this is funny, but like in a joking, like, this is scary type of way. Has anybody been talking about Palantir? No. No one has.
No one's talking about the Hellfire missile either. The Hellfire missile that bounced off a UFO.
Yeah. Like,
no one's talking about that anymore. Dude,
I'm saying.
Okay. Hold on, real fast. Tell me how I'm sitting there in a room watching this on the news in real time. Both my parents go, eh. And I'm like, what do you mean, eh?
Yeah.
A UFO just tanked a Hellfire missile.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary. That should be terrifying too.
Yeah, but Roland, that's my whole point. That's my whole point. And it with this Charlie thing, it made me realize, like, I've always known it, but it's made me understand even clearer. This has been happening for decades. Yeah. Whenever the collective consciousness of the country is close to you, like, the country was united over the Epstein stuff. I feel like, right?
Fairly,
What happens? What happens? Violence. It gets people fighting again.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Thing. You don't see conservatives out there rioting right now. Like what happened after George Floyd died. Like if that was I do genuinely think this, and I'm not just saying it's one-sided, but I do genuinely think if that wasn't Charlie Kirk, if that was a liberal influencer, I think there'd be riots in the streets right now. I really do. Every time a left-leaning person gets killed, who is not even a prominent figure. I mean, George Floyd, career criminal. I think he was a criminal, and I think the guy that killed him was also a criminal. But small businesses lost everything. I saw this old black lady on the news talking about how her shop got burned down because, and she goes, I'm black, and they still burned my shop down. And she had just lost her husband. She just lost everything. This old black lady, and she was on the news bawling her eyes out. That wasn't the right that went out there rioting. You don't see that right now for Charlie Kirk's murder. That does
Nah,
show.
they're
That
just
does show something to me.
well, Jesse Waters is just on Fox News saying that he wants war with all of the liberals.
Yeah, and that's the exact thing that on Pierce Morgan yesterday, every single person agreed. Don't fucking talk about shit like that. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about even Cenk Huger's dumbass was on there going at the very end, agreed that no, we cannot, we all have to keep talking and we cannot perpetuate violence.
Well, yeah. And I
And
want to say,
he even apologized to Tucker Carlson for saying that Tucker Carlson caused violence years ago. Because he goes, I don't believe that Tucker Carlson is the cause of violence. Because I never should have said that.
I also want to say that for all of the for all of the for all the talk that people say about how, like, you know, the left is like perpetuating violence and all that stuff, what I will say is I can't speak for everyone, but besides the fringes, which prominent people on the left have literally denounced, 97% of the left is kind of in agreement on the fact that what happened here was bad, which is
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I've seen so many videos that are just and you know what? I saw the close up video of Charlie get shot in the neck, and I didn't retweet it because I didn't think it was right. But I think that everybody should see it because it is truly shocking. It will shake you to your core, and I think that it should. I'm not comparing it to this, but I am comparing the footage to something like watching a man get their head cut off by the Taliban. Like it's horrific. You need to know that this is happening, that this did happen. You say no one should see it. I say everyone should. No children, of course. I say they should have shown it on the news and said, you know what, this is going to be very graphic. If you want to look away, look away. It's a 30-second video, if that. But they should have shown it on national news to really show that this was horrifying. And he knew what to fucking do. He shoved his thumb in his throat to stop the bleeding immediately. And he stayed alive an hour until he got to the hospital. His dad drove him. If that's not badass, I mean, to try to survive. And
I also
Pierce Morgan ended with a pastor come on, and he said, no, Cami, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, yeah, 9/11 is on every year. Every year on 9/11, they show it to remind us how horrible it is. Just remember that, okay? I'm not comparing him to 9/11. But if they're going to show that every year on the whole week, they do the documentary on it.
9/11 was the greatest tragedy in our country's history.
Yes, I just said I'm not comparing it to that.
Yeah.
But if they're going to show people jumping out of buildings every year and people dying and the blood and gore that happened on the ground every year, you can show one video like that because they've shown worse.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
They've shown worse on national news. I've seen worse on national news than that video.
I get what you're saying. I also, though,
yes, that is what horrifies me, dude. That poor kid. Pray for those children. Every single one of you. Every God-fearing American should pray for those children. It's just that's. I couldn't imagine desperately trying to save your own father at the age of like what, 5, 8?
I think his daughter's 3.
Who's the older one?
Wow.
3? Try to comfort your dad. You don't even know what's happening. You don't even understand what your dad does for a living. You don't even understand politics. You don't get it. You're just a kid. Just a little kid, and you see daddy bleeding, and you're trying to save him. Sorry, this shook me to my core. That wasn't just an assassination politically. That was an assassination on America's most fundamental ideal, which is free speech. A man got murdered for ideals, for conviction. Not even ideals that were hurting anybody. He was probably the farthest from a fascist that you could think of, considering the way that he would speak to people that were on the other side. Hug your loved ones, guys. We've been at this 23 minutes. I think it's time to get on to another topic and get some more levity in here.
So, I